What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV, the best damn news channel on YouTube. Today is September 14th. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news. Now, this first clip I want to go over in today's news, you guys, is R. Kelly awaits jury verdict. It will be a miracle on Martin Luther King Street for R. Kelly to be found not guilty at this point in anything. And what R. Kelly did was heinous, disgusting, and he most definitely should be in jail. He deserves to be in jail. There's no doubt about that. But I made this video over here, the top left-hand corner. R. Kelly was given the death penalty. He's 56 years old. They gave him 30 years. You know, he'll be fucking 80-something, maybe 86 years old before he get out of jail, you guys. And if they gave everybody these same penalties, same sentences, I would be okay with that. But I cover these pedophilia cases, and I've seen people have sex with babies, small boys, small girls. They get 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 5 years, 3 years. When it comes to the Negro, he has to get the whole 30. Do I think he deserved 30? No. Not from what I've seen, what they handing out. And I see a lot of Negroes who say, oh, R. Kelly deserves everything he getting. He supposed to get the whole, throw the cold kitchen sink at R. Kelly. But nobody was saying that when he was ramrodding Aaliyah with that dingus. And he was saying, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Because a lot of these same women who older now was younger wishing they was Aaliyah. I remember in high school, them older niggas coming up to that schoolhouse, picking up them freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. And that girl got her some grown man penis, and she never looked back. She didn't want nothing to do with that sophomore in high school no more. So this ain't nothing new to our community. All of a sudden, everybody's on this high horse. Like I said, what he did was wrong. Having sex with a 14-year-old, that's terrible. That's disgusting. But it's also disgusting for these Hollywood directors, producers, executive producers, to be involved in so much pedophilia and you never hear Negro say a word. You never hear him say a word. So we're going to take a look at this first clip, you guys. We're going to check it out. If you want to take a look at this video, I made this video like 3 months ago. And you see at the top, who has R. Kelly music and masters? Because believe you me, a lot of this is about money, just like with Prince, Michael Jackson, and Bill Cosby. Let's take a look.
Singer R. Kelly, already serving a 30-year prison sentence, is now awaiting another jury's verdict in his hometown of Chicago.
Kelly is accused of making child pornography and rigging his 2008 child porn trial. As CBS 2's Alice Gaynor reports, closing arguments finished today.
Federal prosecutors in Chicago described 55-year-old Robert Sylvester Kelly as a sexual predator. He was acquitted at his 2008 child porn trial, but Kelly and former business manager Daryl McDavid are accused of rigging it by intimidating and paying off witnesses and buying back incriminating videotapes. Kelly's former assistant, Milton June Brown.
And let me say this. Hurt people hurt people. R. Kelly was sexually molested by his sister. And he grew up to have sex with underage girls. That's no excuse, but I'm telling you where his mindset comes from. A lot of these people in the music industry is ritualistically sexually abused and sometimes killed. But a lot of time it's just sexually abused. And that's why he became a sexual abuser.
Is also charged. The person in the center of the video at the 2008 trial now says that was her, then age 14, Kelly age 30. Testifying as Jane, she said she was his goddaughter and that she denied for years Kelly abused her hundreds of times from ages 14 to 18 because the R&B singer paid her family. Several other women accused Kelly of...
Whoa. Now, in the court, this came out in court. He was paying the family. So the family sacrificed their child's mental well-being, her justice, and everything else for money. Why they need to be in jail. The Negro don't say nothing, but you rarely hear it. Well, some people do. I ain't gonna say that, but Most people say, I ain't listening to R. Kelly no more. I'm still listening to R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. I don't give a damn. I'm still listening. Because if that's the case, I need to turn off my TV. All these Hollywood directors, man, and these TV shows, sexually abusing, taking advantage of people, man, they've been doing it for years. So I'm not going to hold R. Kelly to any higher standard than they being held to. He's going to jail for life, so it don't even matter whether I do or don't. He's going to jail for 30 years. That's a life sentence and a death sentence. But her parents most definitely should be held fully accountable. This is ridiculous that all these kids are being fed to these people, and then they put it all on the people. No, the parents too.
Sexually abusing them when they were girls. R. Kelly's defense says the prosecution's case relies on the testimony of perjurers and blackmailers, noting many of the witnesses testified with immunity to ensure they wouldn't be charged with previously lying to authorities, alleging they came here to, quote, tell the government's version of the truth. Prosecutors say the evidence proved the singer used his fame to sexually abuse minors and that he recorded the abuse on video.
And they said a lot of the witnesses had immunity. So that means it doesn't matter what they say. They can say anything they want to say. They've been granted immunity. Obviously, they're going to say everything R. Kelly did wrong and nothing that none of the people surrounding him did wrong. Believe you me, a lot of them people were indulging in underage sex acts in the 90s. Listen to me. It wasn't as taboo. Nobody was looking down upon it like they are today. They just were not. I don't give a damn what y'all say. I remember they would, back in the 90s, how many men were having sex with girls who were underage? That was normal. 15, 16, 17.
Prosecutors claiming he committed horrible crimes against children. Jurors heard 4 weeks of testimony from more than 30 witnesses. This morning, a juror was excused after suffering a panic attack and was replaced with an alternate. Alice Gaynor, CBS 2 News.
McDavid was the only defendant to testify during this trial. Lawyers for both McDavid and Brown deny any wrongdoing.
Hey, it doesn't make it right. R. Kelly deserves to go to jail. He deserves to be punished, but I'm not going to sit here and just be, put a boot only in his ass when it's a culture in the entertainment business of having sex with not teenagers, children. Let's go to this next clip, you guys. I've talked about this so many times. Groups raising money for cloud seeding Red Rock Canyon. And let me say this, you guys. When you seed the clouds, which come from Operation Popeye in the Vietnam War, they were seeding the clouds, causing monsoons, to extend the monsoon seasons over in the Vietnam and them jungles, to make it rain non-stop and continuously, to try to flood out the Viet Cong. There's an adverse effect to cloud seeding. Nobody talks about that. We know everything you do, there's a downside and there's an upside. There's ramifications down the road if you're trying to play God. That's just a fact. So what are the ramifications? Me personally, I think when you seed the clouds, it causes extreme drought and extreme weather. It messes up the weather pattern. That's why you'll see San Diego all of a sudden flooded. San Diego never fucking flooded in history. All of a sudden you be in Dallas. Yeah, it rains in Dallas all the time, but you ain't never seen a nigga swimming on the freeway. Excuse me. These people are playing with the weather. They've been manipulating the weather. It's nothing new. When I said something about playing the weather last year, people told me I was a crazy man. But now it's out in the open on Fox 5 Las Vegas. Let's take a look.
Can we make it rain or snow at Red Rock Canyon? One local group says yes and is raising money for a new cloud seeding program. They say something must be done to save the ecosystem of the Red Rock Canyon and the extreme drought continues. Kim is here now to explain how this would work.
Yeah, so the concept is to seed the clouds, something that has been done in our region and other parts of the world before. It is done by shooting particles up into the sky, and as clouds pass by, it weighs them down, forcing them to drop their water.
If we have the ability to make it rain, we feel like we should make it rain.
A local group called Save Red Rock wants to do just that.
We see this opportunity to bring water to this national treasure.
They say for years now, Red Rock Canyon has been suffering from extreme drought, and the ecosystem, especially plants and animals, are suffering.
We know that the animals are leaving they're going to Las Vegas, desperately looking for water.
Before the extreme drought began 20 years ago, Red Rock Canyon looked much different.
There's two really major springs, and that's the upper and the lower Cottonwood Springs. And at one time, the lower Cottonwood Springs was a 4-foot deep swimming hole, and the upper Cottonwood Spring was a gigantic pond with frogs. And
sometimes God does things in a particular fashion, in a particular order, for a reason that sometimes men don't understand. Sometimes certain animals have to die off. So, sometimes there's certain droughts and certain reason for a particular reason. We're not supposed to try to play God. 99.9% of all the animals that ever been on the planet has went extinct. And look how many animals and insects and all that shit is on the planet right now. But think about that. 99.9% of all the animals that ever walked the earth has went extinct. That's God's will and God's work. The white man wants to play God with all this shit. And it's going to backfire time and time again. The ramifications long term, they do not know, because they've just now starting to see the long term ramifications. So they like, oh, well, let's just keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. But they don't know. It's like vaccines. You don't know the long term ramifications until you do the long term studies.
And cattails, and they've been bone dry for years.
Save Red Rock is partnering with the Desert Research Institute on the new cloud seeding program. They answered questions during a webinar.
There's three common questions that come up when you talk about a cloud seeding program. And the first one's obviously, does this work? Because it seems kind of crazy to make it snow.
Ain't that something? Something just fell in the kitchen.
So the answer is yeah, it does work.
The idea? To put generators like this one atop a mountain and shoot silver iodide into the passing clouds.
We're going to purposefully introduce special ice-forming dust into clouds with liquid water.
Save Red Rock believes cloud seeding potentially could bring millions of gallons of much-needed snow and rain to the parched canyon.
We'd start seeding or start trying to look at the weather about November 15th. That would be when the storms are getting cold enough to do this.
And from now until September 30th, Save Red Rock is taking donations to make this dream a reality.
Now you see how wicked these people are? They never said what the downside could be. They never said it's three questions. None of the questions was, hey man, what can go wrong? Ridiculous, man. But you see, they trying to play God, you guys. Let's take a look. So suspect blows up car during funeral, shoots at witnesses. Hey man, get your guns, get your bullets. Chaos, chaos, chaos.
Police searching for someone who broke into this car and threw in an explosive device, blowing the car up while a funeral was going on. No one was hurt, but the blast destroyed the car and surrounding trees at Mountain View Cemetery in Auburn. Two cemetery workers tried to follow the suspects who...
Well, this looked like a witness. Some witnesses. They was at a funeral. Somebody obviously died. Somebody at that funeral was a witness. They trying to intimidate the witness. They threw a Molotov cocktail or whatever, something in there, and blew up a car. Shot. I don't even think they was probably trying to shoot or kill nobody. They just want to intimidate.
drove away, but police say the suspect started shooting at them. A witness
Oh, maybe they was.
says he couldn't believe what he was seeing.
We don't know, but I think they really want to intimidate. Because think about it, y'all. If you want to kill somebody, you could have waited till that person got in that car. Think about it now. You could have waited waited till that person got in that car, drove up and shot the car. They just threw a Molotov cocktail into an empty car and probably shot in the air a few times. That's my opinion.
A witness who wanted to stay anonymous says he couldn't believe what he was seeing.
Loud explosion. Thing was just roaring, and the guys were still in the cemetery, and they were trying to get out the front gate, and I saw a city truck on their way to the gate too. It looked like they were going to try to block them in, but they didn't, and they got away.
The car had no license plates. It is black, and they're not exactly sure on the make or model, but if you recognize it or have any information,
Of course, they took the license plates off. That's common sense, y'all. Take a look at this. Suspect caught on camera brutally beating a woman. Let me see. During a robbery.
The victim says it was a case of parking lot breach. She had to have staples put in to close the cut in her head after she was brutally beaten. Now, a warning that the cell phone video we're about to show you may be disturbing to some. That is Kimberly Johnson screaming for her phone back after the suspects took it. She says the couple who were driving a black Infiniti were blocking the parking lot, so she honked at them and tried to pull around their car. That's when a woman in the car threw a bottle at her rented U-Haul van. So she got out to find out why. And that's when the woman got into her face, chest bumped her, and then asked her boyfriend
You know,
to shoot Kimberly.
these road rage incidents are happening more and more often. People are mentally unstable, you guys. Hey, man, when you come to the red light and somebody cut you off, just let it go. I know back in the day we used to going off, acting a fool, cussing them. At this point, it ain't worth losing your life. A lot of these people, they're miserable. They're broke. They don't have no hope. They're ready to act out violently. Just let it go. Just smile. Tip your cap, give a small salute, and keep it moving. I know it's difficult, y'all. I know. I listen. I'm just as guilty. It's hard to let that shit go, but you better off.
Kimberly called 911 for help. That's when she says the guy got out and started beating on her, seriously injuring her.
I don't know if it was because of the fact that I humped at them. I don't know if it was because of the fact that when they threw something in the car, I stopped and got the car. I tend to kind of forget some things sometimes, just I guess with age and stuff like that. But it's like I really have to write stuff down.
I wonder if she a single black woman or she got a man. A lot of these black women be out here single and vulnerable as hell. And, I'm not saying force your way into getting a man or just accept anybody, but, it's dangerous as a woman being out here by yourself, especially in today's society. It's getting worse and worse, you guys.
I'm not saying, I don't know if it has anything to do with that or triggered it, but I feel it does. My hearing is still not always sharp in my left ear.
So take a look at the suspects. Can't believe it.
And you can tell this guy is an opioid user, meth head. He's tried every drug under the sun. Charlie Sheen's nephew. Jason Sheen. Wait a minute. Now, I got a little common sense. I could be wrong. But this look like a man, baby. Yeah. I think this one of them trans people. Look at that. Literally no breasts. Adam's apple. That hair got that 1980s Patrick Swayze look to it. They look like them two is doing some dirty dancing. Unbelievable. Only here on Sports, Life, and Politics News, where we get to the bottom of shit. That's a man.
Through other law enforcement agencies were not able to. This happened on June 20th. Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound is offering a cash reward up to $1,000 if you know either of their names. You will remain anonymous. Just text the information.
Now, he ain't got no Adam's apple. She got an Adam's apple. Shit, they might not never find these people. He probably turned back into a woman, and she probably turned it back into a man, baby.
Tips app on your cell phone.
Anything that she told you that really stood out to you about the suspects?
Surprisingly, she said even though the male suspect was the one that was beating on her, she said the female suspect was really the more aggressive one, the one that kept really getting into her face. She also said she had kind of a glazed look in her eyes.
I swear to God, I did not notice that. I told you, the female was the more aggressive one. What she thought was a female. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news.
She was on something. I think what's most disturbing is Kimberly moved back here 2 years ago from Dallas to start her catering business. She's a hardworking lady who had stopped to pick up some T-shirts for her business, and then she's dealing with these you-know-whats out in the parking lot who don't have a job, who are just sitting around blocking the parking lot, who attack her. And it's so frustrating. People think they can get away with something like this. So I'm counting on our viewers to say, hey, we've had enough Let's get them charged. The detective wants to identify them and wants to...
Yeah, I hope they catch these two.
Somebody out there knows something.
These two sex switchers. I mean, you guys, it's getting ridiculous out here. The amount of crime. Now you got transgenders committing crimes. And that man said, it seems as though the female was twice as aggressive and twice as strong. Yeah, the bitch lift up my car. Unbelievable. Look at, let me see, what's this clip? Police seeking suspect after double shooting in Hollywood left one man dead. That's Hollywood, Florida.
Authorities say one man was killed, another...
Shout out to Jonathan Lockhart, Pompano Beach, Florida. Me and Jay, I probably used to go to Miami all the time. And we knew some people that went to Bethune-Cookman and they was from Pompano Beach. So we was going to Miami one time and stopped off and spent the night in Pompano. Some cool people in Pompano. Everybody black as I am. Yeah, I felt right at home. There's no place like home. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The darker the flesh, the deeper the roots.
Injured is now in the hospital. Local 10's Andrew Perez joins us live from the scene with the latest on the investigation. Andrew.
Detectives have been out here since about 4 o'clock in the morning, finally removing the body just a short time ago. An emotional scene in Pompano Beach as the body is wheeled out. Loved ones breaking down in tears.
One thing I noticed about that scene, it wasn't one man out there. There's a lot of single women out here. Look at it again. Not one man from that family that was over there in that circle. Look, all women. Every single one of them. Vulnerable out here, y'all.
Neighbors waking up to deputies blocking most of the street.
Now look at that lady. Nosy as she is, all of a sudden she barely want to peek out. Now she know damn well she's peeking out them windows looking all the time. Then when it come time for some help, she barely want to crack the goddamn door. Come on out here, auntie.
Focused on this house. This is the area of Northwest 8th Street and 24th Avenue. A command center, a forensics team. Residents trying to make sense.
I just have to stay prayed up. Because you know you hear something.
She almost started rapping.
Deputies initially got the call just after 4 in the morning that a man was suffering from gunshot wounds in that house. Crews quickly swarmed the scene. BSO says a second man was rushed to the hospital. His injuries non-life-threatening. Crews on scene working this case for more than 11 hours, talking to neighbors, gathering evidence, trying to figure out what happened, who opened fire, and why.
Ain't no telling. He might have been the weed man or somebody's fucking with somebody's old lady. I'm leaning towards weed man. Could be wrong. But I'm telling you, buddy, I'll be knocking that shit out of the park. If they do an update and he's messing with somebody's old lady or he was the weed man, you know where you got it from. Sports Life Politics TV.
We do know that so far no arrest has been made, so right now it's a little bit unclear if there's still a public threat, if police are actively searching for a shooter right now. We're gathering more details. We'll have more here on Local 10, also our website, local10.com. That's what?
Another senseless act of violence. They have a man robbed at gunpoint in Chicago alley speaks out. Chicago and alley. Sounds like a terrible combination. Let's take a look.
Breaking moments in Bucktown. A man just getting done at the gym is robbed at gunpoint.
But Tia Ewing reports these crooks picked the wrong guy to mug. Tia?
Very true. He's a National Guardsman currently stationed in Terre Haute, Indiana, and was in Chicago this past week visiting family when all of this unfolded, and it was all caught on camera. 30-year-old Ryan King turned into an alley near the corner of Wabansia and Oakley to get back to his mother's apartment when a dark-colored vehicle pulls up and 3 young men jump out. King says one of them pointed a gun right in his face, demanding his wallet, and moments later he says a passerby saw the mugging unfolding and yelled. Instincts and his martial arts training kicked in.
Hey, y'all, in a lot of these major cities, the robberies have skyrocketed. We just seen that shit. Los Angeles is a hotbed for robbery, smash and grab, follow homes, home invasions. Now they walking in the restaurants, shooting, robbing motherfuckers inside the restaurants with families. Hey man, we got to protect ourselves.
And that's when King hit one of the men with an elbow and ran off.
And he lucky that this nigga right here Let's see him again. This tall, lanky nigga right here. Right here, we gonna see him. Right here, he lucky. He lucky. This nigga right here is not a killer yet. He a killer in practice. He's practicing this shit. Anytime you get these little cars like this of robbers, there's always one real killer already in there. Everybody else is a killer and robber in training. He's not a killer yet. Thank God for him. That move he pulled, I understand it, I respect it, but they could have gunned him down so easily. That man said his martial arts kicked in. Man, them bullets travel faster than goddamn karate chop. I sure hate to tell you. I don't know why these people think they Bruce Leroy. You ain't catching bullets with your motherfucking teeth. And then you ain't got the motherfucking glow. Shit. But here I do on Sports Life Politics TV. I got that glow. Take a look.
Passerby saw the mugging unfolding and yelled. Instincts and his martial arts training kicked in, and that's when King hit one of the men with a...
What the? Yeah, he slapped the shit out of him with that elbow.
Up to my head, he showed it to my face, and then he went beside me, and he said, he said, I'm gonna kill you, unless you give us your wallet.
That has to be terrifying. Police are still looking for the men and the vehicle involved, which took off westbound. King says they were all in their late teens.
Of course there was. Of course there was. A bunch of damn hooligans on the loose. And ready to kill and love to rob. I'm gonna look at a little update of this video right here. Rapper shot, killed at restaurant. The R&B, what is it? RB something punk. Not punk. RBK or some shit. Rock. Yeah, RBK Rock was killed yesterday in Los Angeles.
The rapper was shot and killed at a restaurant in South Los Angeles Monday afternoon. 30-year-old Rakim Allen, whose stage name is PNB Rock.
PNB Rock, that's his fucking name.
And a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles when at least one suspect approached.
Yeah. How ironic that a black man dies next to a plate of fucking chicken wings. Ain't that about a bitch?
Brandished a firearm and demanded property from him. It happened around 1:15 in the afternoon, just after a woman who was said to be his girlfriend posted a location tag photo on Instagram.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was gonna die, I wouldn't mind having one of them hot chicken wings in my mouth and get a little head. If I was gonna go, let it be like that.
That post has since been deleted. Allen was taken to a hospital where he later died. Rock's death comes as authorities say they're up against a rising trend of what they call follow-home robberies and other...
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. That's what I was just saying, y'all. And I'm going to say another thing about Los Angeles. This goddamn gang culture, this shit's got to die. It really does. I understand in the 90s when that gang culture shit took off, we didn't really know no better. We didn't have the long-term studies and the long-term ramifications of what gang bang doing and all that shit. Like crack in the 80s. There was no long-term study on that shit. It really wasn't, but we figured out over time that it was some bullshit. Just like gangbanging. That shit's some bullshit. Los Angeles, they gonna start losing out a lot of money, man. Who the fuck wants to go to LA where you can't even eat? I will say this nigga made a bunch of mistakes. He did. He went to the worst Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles. It is no fact. I mean, that's a fact. I've been to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, but I went to the one in Hollywood. It was cool, but that shit still had a little, still a little sketchy, still some hood niggas. But it ain't nothing like the shit he went to. He went into the devil's goddamn den. He went to the belly of the beast. And believe me, this Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles ain't nowhere near as good as it used to be back in the day. I went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle as a nigga from Texas who understand what that chicken is. And I understand that bird. Damn near better than anybody. That shit ain't even good. That nigga died for some unseasoned chicken wings and a flabby ass waffle that ain't even crispy. That waffle ain't even Belgian. Yeah, that's a Compton waffle. That nigga died over a Compton waffle and some unflavored ass Mexican chicken wings. Yeah, they didn't have no seasoning on them fucking wings. They ought to be ashamed. But RP to that brother. He had 2 kids. Another black father out of these homes. We don't need it, y'all. This has been another day of Sports Life and Politics TV News, the best damn news channel on YouTube. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, I just took your ass on another Roscoe's Chicken Really Ain't That Good ride.